Today I'm going to be playing some PLO 510 level, and hopefully we'll all learn from it. It's not so much of the way you play the hands, you can improve on those continuously, and it's so much of how you feel within. That determines the very moves that you're going to be making, well or bad. So the more joyful you are, the better you will play, and the more you will win. But if you're going to be the prisoner of losses and wins, and your emotional scale will shoot off the chart if you're losing, or the other way around, it really doesn't work out. You need to be cool, calm, collected, and happy, and enjoy it. Learn from your mistakes. All right, we're on the big blind, the button raise. We got pair of nines and the ace flush draw. This is okay to come in and see a flop with it. Not a favorable flop. We may have to give this one up. Yeah, he bet half the pot. Tempting. No. All right, we have the best hand before the flop, that is, at least, but out of position. Cutoff didn't raise. The button raised. Now let's see how much he has. 45. Now we can raise this, re-raise this, but it looks like we may get a couple of callers with not so great aces out of position. So we'll call this, hopefully hoping that we get a re-raise from somebody else. Then we'll be in business. This is okay too. Okay, we bottom two pairs first in a raised pot, out of position. Let's check and see what happens. The actual original raiser is betting. It doesn't look good suddenly, although we have two pairs, but it's just not looking good, because even if we go to hit the ace of hearts is not going to be much good. So we'll let this go. Well, aces, they're actually good to play aggressively pre-flop, but occasionally when you're out of position, by re-raising, what you're doing is, first of all, you're letting your opponents know that you have aces. So, and they have position on you, and it's been a raised pot. Now here is interesting, because we've got two backdoor flushes and a middle pin straight, one player. Let's see the next card. Now we got more, two. Okay, although we don't have much of a hand here, but we got two checks from him. Let's just bet it. Because normally when people check twice, they can't take the raise. We're going to have to bluff this one, I believe. We didn't make anything. So let's see if we can bluff him out. We don't really have much option there. So bluffing is always an option when you don't make a hand. But you need to be doing it carefully. It did, like he checked twice, and all right, here we are. We got a raiser. We can actually re-raise here, or just call it on the cutoff. I prefer to re-raise here on the button, re-raising the raiser on the cutoff. So this is on the borderline whether I want to re-raise it or just call it. I think I opt to calling this for now. So here, the raiser bet, this looks more like a continuation bet, and is betting a little bit cheaper. So if I can call this, I figure I'm winning. Hopefully it'll be two of us, which it is. That's looking okay. It's feeling okay so far, because all we had was a raiser and a continuation bet. This is not looking so good suddenly, because now he's betting the full pot. And we only have one pair with the king kicker. Not looking so good. I'm inclined to lay this down. The situation has suddenly turned a little bit worse, quite a bit worse actually, by him betting the pot. So we let this go. In first position, bad queens. Queens, kings, and aces are the best kind of pairs in this game. So I'll make a little call, hoping nobody raises and I see the flop. But I can take a raise with this too. a bad flop. I can't bet this. You know, these are good flops for bluffing, but we check it now since there are 4 more players in there. And if we get a check all round, now we're in business a little bit. If we get 2 more checks, I'm betting. The first guy bets 25. That's cheap. Although he's betting in first position, and I've got 2 people behind me, so it's not so good. I would have bet myself had they checked in the first 2 position. There's a huge difference between betting yourself and calling a bet, so always watch out for that. Big difference. Be a better rather than a caller, unless you have good plans with your calling. When you're calling, you need to have a good plan. Now here, there's no raise. We got ace, king, queen, ace, bit of spade. We can raise this and put ourselves in a commanding position. Okay. Now, although we only have 1 pair, but the first guy was just called the raise, and we can attack this. He doesn't know what we have, but we kind of feel that he's a little bit weak. There we go. Two, three, 4, 8 on the button. The actual button is not there, so we are on the button, so we can raise this. You can almost raise with anything on the button, but you need to economize with that. In other words, you can't do it every single time. Otherwise, it becomes apparent that you're random. So you need to do it. Okay, this is looking good. We got 3 threes with a flush draw, and the bet indicates that he doesn't have all that strong. He's not all that strong. So we can raise this. We can raise this and hopefully try get it all in with him. Yeah, there we go. This is okay now. So we can take this on. Oh, okay, well, although he's got 3 aces, but we can still win it with a flush draw or a straight. Oh, or 4 threes. Now, we got lucky there. But it's not the point of being lucky, winning or losing. It's the point of whether we played the hand correctly or not. There was no raise pre-flop, so we don't take him for 3 aces. We got 3 threes and a flush draw, all the backup stuff, and so that's really played itself, the hand. Not so hard. So I guess we can send a message to our friends saying we are a little bit sorry about that. How do you send the message across? Oh, wait a minute. All right, here is a semi-bluff hand. There was no raise pre-flop. It looks like we can take it from him right now. Nope, we didn't. We picked up a straight draw. So we checked, hoping to make a straight. Or 2 pairs. We may win this with 2 pairs. Let's see what happens. Yeah, he made a weak call, probably with a weak flush draw. Let's see what he had. Yeah, weak flush draw, he sure did. Oops, I didn't do that. Oh, okay. Right, 2 sevens, 5 8, although supporting cards. We can play a little bit loose here. This call is a touch on the loose side, but in this field it seems okay. All right, we got 3 sevens. That's not bad. Unraised pot, 3 sevens, and a possible straight. We're looking for a customer that's drawing to a flush or a straight, so we're not giving any free cards here. Picked up someone's talking to me. I feel a bit ignorant. Oh wow, this hand is really developing, because we can bet this, although we only have 1 pair, but we got the nut flush draw, diamond draw, 2 nut flush draws, a straight draw. We're prepared to take a chance here. Yeah, it was hard for him to call this since we had everything covered. But check raising in that spot, I'd rather bet it rather than check raise it, since the likelihood of a bet coming in is not so strong. So therefore, you don't want to give him a totally free card to hit a middle pin straight and beat your enormous hand, with all the potential that you had going. Unless you had reason prior to that, the guy showed some strength, and you feel that his aggression is going to continue, then you're prepared. Then you can check raise it. This is where the power of observation comes in. Although the game plays itself normally, but the real game really plays when you observe the game and you pick up stuff from the game about the players, the way they play, and then you play accordingly. And this is what makes a game so beautiful, because every single poker game that you play in, by observing it for a while, you see the game is so different, because the players are different. Everybody plays slightly differently, and your game has to be adjusted to that. And I actually look forward every time I wake up from my hotel room to go to the games in the World Series. I'm excited because I know it's going to be different to the game that I had yesterday and ever, really. And so that's the beauty of the game that I really appreciate, because it provides me with fresh stimulation, and decision making. It's just different. And so you think, wow. And many people are under the impression that, once you get used to playing the game, it gets a little boring and it's the same every day. But it really isn't. This kind of attitude only comes from players who are not true poker players, but true poker players do appreciate that, and they appreciate the diversity and the change and the difference. Here we have a hand, double suited. It's not a great hand, but in a cutoff position with everybody passing, I like to come in with a raise with this. You see, the raise, all these raises that we're making is serving more than one purpose. Right, let's see what we can do here. We picked up a flush draw. We have one player and a pair. We can bet this, attack it, because there's some potential within the hand right now, right at this point. But if we don't take it, then it may be too late. He's thinking. All right. So, a touch of aggression with this type of hand is always serves you well. All right, there's been no raise here, and we're in the big blind. We can certainly, it looks like we may be able to knock the small blind out of the way and just play heads up. There we go. Okay, now, this is not a bad flop for us, and he may think we got ace deuce here since we raised. We actually have a pretty good hand with a flush draw and a straight draw. It's a good one to bet with. Well, I'm not actually playing so aggressively in my book. I'm just playing correctly. That is difference. There's a difference between aggression, uncalculated aggressive play, and correct play. It's like here, for instance, we got 3 diamonds. The ace, this is a raising hand in many positions, but we're out of position. And there is no need for aggression here. So if anybody was to come here and criticize you for not being aggressive enough, then they need to learn one or two things in my book. Here we are. We picked up a fair flop, out of position. Somebody's bet. The future is not looking good. So it was a good thing we didn't show much aggression with that. So aggression is only good when it is correct. For instance, here a lot of aggression can be shown. We have the best hand, and we have the best position. So here we go. All right, that's a pretty good flop for us. We got a pair, flush draw, and aces. We're prepared to go with this. Yeah, Candy seems to be playing a little bit loose around here. But these loose players, you need to watch out for them, because they can take you down. Some of these players who are prepared to play loose and take chances, and although he seems to be a decent player, but when you're playing against loose, bad players who go down and lose, they often take 1 or 2 people down with them. You know, so you need to watch out for that and be prepared to go down with them, because they need to. You need to pay them at the right time. You need to play with them more often because they're in there. You know, they're loose enough, and it's absolutely correct for you to mingle with them. Now here is 2 queens with 7, 10 of diamonds. I can come in with a raise with it, but I don't want to spoil it, because if the 2 kings or 2 aces re-raise you, the value of the hand drops down a lot. So you want to keep it contained. Now this is okay. This is just a little tickle. In fact, it's such a little tickle that we may decide to re-raise, but that could be deliberate with aces. We don't want to spoil it. Let it be just pretty. Okay, we have an overpair. I'm betting this if we get a check. No, I'm not calling this if we get a bet. Well, you know, I have one player behind me, and this is Omaha, 4 cards. You know, I only have 1 pair. It's not all that good. Although this is a bit better. 2 kings, 5, 8. All right, only with a small blind. This is a clear raise. Not flush draw. That's looking good. Now, because he didn't check, he didn't raise pre-flop. It doesn't look as if he's even got 1 ace in his hand. It looks like we're going to win it here and now. Another cut off with a pair and an ace flush draw. You know, coming with a raise. Now we only have an ace. It's not so good. We can have another pop at it. Hopefully take it here and now, otherwise we give it up. Ooh, he's 3. He didn't raise us, so he's got 200. Let's check him out. We don't have to bet much here. We can bet a little bit, like about half the size. Let's see what he does. It looks like he's on a draw, and we want to take him away from that draw, but we don't need to risk too much either. All right, since we're running well, let's come in with a raise one more time. You know, double suited hands are often okay to come in with a raise with, almost from any position. Right, a great flop for us. So we're going to have to give this up. The first man bets, obviously, he's showing strength with 3 players behind him. We're not going to josh with him for sure. It was an interesting session, this one, where the players were kind of average to good players, so it wasn't so easy. But we needed to play, you know, our best in order to survive in there. But few things went right for us, like our raises and our betting, and it went our way. And it doesn't always go like that. So, but when it doesn't, we're also happy. You know, that's the attitude that I want all the players to develop. You know, when things go right for you, it's good, it's great. You know, but when things don't go right for you, as long as you did your best and you made a good decision, your best decisions, fine. You know, feel happy about that. You know, take your losses gracefully. And when you can take your losses well, when your losses and wins have the same meaning to you, then you enter the field of great players as opposed to the field of good players.